Hey guys, today we're going to take a look at running a basic phishing attack in the lab environment. So we're going to set up a command and control infrastructure with PowerShell Empire, generate a payload, and then send that to one of our simulated users who's going to open it and run the payload. So right now I am VPN'd into the lab environment, which means I should have a 10.9 IP address. This is the device the VPN creates. I'm going to copy that so that I can use it in the Empire listener here. Start up Empire. And then we're going to create a listener for our agents to call back to. So it's listeners and then use listener. There's a bunch of them, but we're just going to go with a basic HTTP one. A lot of options here. The one we definitely need to set is the host, so the payload knows where to call back to. And that's where we're going to use that IP address. And then we can go back and make a stager next. Whoop. If you double tab, Empire will list out all the options for wherever you are. So we're going to go with a Windows bat file. And here we just need to set the listener that this payload is going to call back to, which is that one we just created. So set listener, HTTP, and execute will just generate the file that we need. So I have Thunderbird installed here, which is a pretty normal email client, and I'm signed in to the mail server that we provide in the lab for sending phishing emails. Just because the lab is isolated, you're not going to be able to use a normal internet email account to send messages in there. So this lets you sign into a client and have an account to send messages from. So we're just going to create a new message here and attach that payload we just generated. And I already know the user I'm going to send things to here. If you're in a different lab environment, you'll need to search around and find some email addresses to send things to. And we're going to tell this person that we have a new awesome application for him. Cool, and well, before we send it, I'm going to pull up our remote desktop here. This is just so we can see what's happening on the machine where we're sending things to, but normally you wouldn't actually be able to look. Send that away, and if we're lucky, we'll see the command window pop up for just a second there. The Internet Explorer window you see is because the simulated users will randomly browse things on the internet. Oh, I saw a little flash. There we go. So we got a new agent back, which means our user opened up that email and ran the payload. So if we go to agents in here, looks like there was an old one from me going through this a previous time, but that one with the green check-in time is the most recent one. So if we interact with that, we will be able to run commands on this system here. So we should be running as that user who we just phished, and since we can actually see what's going on, if I run a program, whoops, I do have to spell the program right, we'll be able to see it come up over here. There we are. So that's how you run a basic phishing attack in the lab. Now that you have an agent, you're ready to search around for data on this system, find some credentials, move to other systems in the lab, search around Active Directory, all sorts of other things. So we will dive into more of that on the next in this video series.